One day, the earth was feeling very sad. She sent a message to her birds all around the world. She called to them, "I need your help." So the birds came to listen to the earth. They came from the north, the south, the east, and the west. They gathered together with great twittering and chattering. Finally, the earth spoke. "You have been part of my life for thousands of years, but now I need your help. My seas and rivers are filled with poison, the forests are dying, and my animals are being killed and tortured. In many places, people are killing each other because they believe the earth belongs to them alone. They are tearing my body apart with their bombs. Will you help me? Are you brave enough to go on a special journey to save my life? Are you clever enough to find the place that lies far beyond this world? Are you wise enough to break the spell of the 4 ghosts that live in the valleys? You have to travel to the great being who lives beyond the edge of time in his beautiful garden and bring back a message for me. You will need the courage of the eagle, the vision of an owl, the wisdom of a raven, and the gentleness of a dove." The birds looked at each other. Some thought it was too difficult. Others thought it was a dream. But after great discussion, they decided to go on the journey as they loved the earth so much. And so the birds started their journey to the place beyond time. They could see the 4 valleys that they had to cross. Every valley was ruled by an invisible ghost who had cast a spell. Each bird had to find their own path through the 4 valleys. A little way along, they saw the darkness of the first valley, the Valley of Doubt. Panic spread amongst them, and some sank to the ground and didn't want to go on. The birds flew into the darkness of the Valley of Doubt. The magic spell of the Ghost of Doubt filled the valley with a thick fog. This wrapped around the birds, blinding them, making them lose their way. The ghost whispered, "You are not good enough to find the great being. You are not strong enough to reach the garden. You will not survive this journey." "We must not listen to the whispers," cried the birds. "They are not our own true voices, but the voice of the ghost who pretends to be us. We must trust ourselves." And out they flew. But a few birds couldn't tell the difference between their voices and the voice of the ghost, and their wings grew heavy and could not carry them through the valley. And so the birds that remained flew into the darkness of the second valley, the Valley of False Dreams. The air was so thick they couldn't see. They heard a voice, Follow me, and I will show you a quicker way to the garden of the great being. Drink this special drink that will make you brave and strong. I will give you dreams that will make you forget your loneliness and fear. We must not listen to the voice, or we will fall into a deep sleep. We must not drink what the ghost offers, or we will forget who we are. But some birds were tired and thirsty. They felt it safe to drink the delicious drink, and they took a sip of the deadly drug. And everything faded from their memory. They tried hard to stay awake, but could not, and fell into a deep sleep. The other birds shouted and stamped their feet. We do not want your false dreams. We will not forget who we are. And with these strong words, they flew over the valley of false dreams. Round to the back. The next valley they reached was the valley of envy. Immediately they felt the powerful spell of the ghost. Each bird longed to be like another bird. The hummingbird wanted to be clever, like the parrot. The parrot wanted to be strong, like the eagle. The eagle wanted to be beautiful, like the peacock. The peacock wanted to be graceful, like the swan. And the swan wanted to be powerful, like the hawk. As these thoughts attacked them, they felt their feathers caught in the ghost's invisible nets. The ghost called out, "You are too weak and helpless to break my spell. You will not free yourselves from the nets of envy, because they are as strong as iron." The birds struggled in the nets. And then a tiny little bird called out, "Let go of your wish to be someone else. Be true to yourself." And the tiny birds managed to cut small holes in the net. And the bigger birds squeezed through. But some birds had damaged their feathers and were unable to fly, and so stayed in the valley. The last valley they reached was the Valley of Power. The air was so dry, they felt as if invisible hands were clutching their throats. The ghost roared, "I control everything. I know about everything. If you stay in my valley, I will give you all the power and knowledge so others will obey you, and you will never be weak again." The peacock liked these words, but he began to feel paralyzed by the black rose of the ghost's power. He felt his heart growing heavy and turning to stone. "Wake up!" shouted the other birds. "Wake up before it's too late and you have lost your heart forever. The ghost of power is very clever, and he will persuade you to stay in the valley and forget your quest to find the great being." The peacock heard the voices of the birds. He flapped his wings and jumped up and down, but could not break the spell. Some of the little birds tried to help him. But they too could not resist the black rays of the ghost and also turned to stone. Off. Finally, the birds reached the beautiful garden of the great being. Hidden behind the red roses was the great being who looked like 1,000 dancing suns and moons. He spoke to them. "So, you have come for a message for the earth. You yourselves are the message. You have broken the spell of the ghosts of the 4 valleys. You are no longer helpless and weak birds. Now you know your own true nature. You can return back to earth, knowing that I am with you like a secret blazing light. Wherever you are, you only have to remember me, and I will be there. If you are anxious, I will give you strength and wisdom. If you are afraid, remember my light, and it will be shining before you. Now go, my beloved birds, and tell my story to the children of the earth." And with that, the birds flew back to earth, completely free.